Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is my first video. Be nice to me. I've discovered I like to write this year. This year I've been writing online quite a bit. It's been so much fun for me. I get a little bit of like a runner's high from the thinking, from the act of having written. I really enjoy it. And it's been immensely valuable. It's unlocked a lot of things for me. I felt like it's really made me a sharper thinker at work. It's helped me explore new topics. It's helped me connect with other people. It's flexed that vulnerability muscle, that part of you that's shy or afraid of sharing things. I've had that. I still suffer from it a bit. But after a while, you get used to putting stuff out there, sharing more of yourself, and you connect with people, and it's wonderful. And for that reason alone, you should try to write more. But that's not what this video is about. In writing, I uncovered more of myself than I ever imagined possible. I journal a lot. Some stuff I don't share, some stuff I do. But that act of writing, of taking your thoughts and putting it down, helps you see trends. It helps you learn more about yourself. It helps you articulate the vague notions you have and give them a definition and link them. And that helps you see things you might not have otherwise. This video is about finding your purpose, finding your passion, or that thing that you can focus on, that niche, your unique, specialized knowledge or gift to the world. A lot of advice I got when I started writing was to find a specific niche, to find that one thing I was an expert in, or that unique combination of my skills that I was the best in the world at and could, sell to an audience or create content around and monetize those people because people wanted to hear from me on that topic. And this was really hard. I spent a lot of time trying to find one niche. I spent a lot of time, 7 months, trying to figure out what that unique or single topic was that was right for me. And it was tough. It was hard. I felt a lot of resistance. I couldn't do it. I would start with one topic, go that way for a little bit, back out because I had another idea. Or I uncovered another part of myself I wanted to share. And I went from staff engineer soft skills to being a data engineer, building a lake house, to my day trading days and being an investor and pursuit of financial independence, to being a parent and finding life enjoyment on the path to having career success, to AI and building custom AI applications and the vast potential of LLMs to help with learning. And then just learning in general, that idea of personal knowledge management. I use Obsidian and take smart notes and follow a Zettelkasten note-taking system, which has just been a huge unlock. And then I'm trying to balance this all by being productive or finding ways to have my work life, my creator life, and my family life separate and distinct. And I've wanted to share all of this, but I couldn't figure out the way to combine them so I could just effortlessly be myself. And so in spending these last 7 months trying to figure out who I am and searching the depths of my soul to try to understand what it is I can talk about for the rest of my life if I wanted to be a writer, what it is I want to focus on to study and learn and put all my energy into. And in struggling there, it started to occur to me that I needed a new approach. I couldn't just go find something I wanted to do, get all excited, make a new domain name, make a new profile, rewrite the bio, start writing on that for a week, and then pivot again. And so I was reminded of a quote from Charlie Munger where he says, when you're trying to solve a difficult problem, invert, always invert, meaning look at that problem from a different perspective. Turn it upside down. What's the opposite of the question you're asking? And so I had been asking myself, what is the one niche I can focus on? When instead I started to think, why focus on one niche at all? I started to think, what are all the things I want to talk about? What are all the things I want to do? I started to piece things together. I realized maybe I could do all this. I don't need a single creative niche. But finally, the other night, something clicked. My wife shares with me this TED Talk by the writer Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and it's about the dangers of a single story. She shares how growing up in Nigeria as a kid, she mostly only had access to Western literature, and how that painted an image of characters in books having to be white and blonde mostly. So when she was a kid and she would write her own stories, that's what her characters looked like, because that's what she knew. The TED Talk is wonderful, and it really illuminates that if you only have a single story, you might not know there's another way. And so with that in mind, I started thinking of my problem, as selfish as that might sound, of how I'm struggling to figure out what's my niche, what's my passion, what do I like to do? How do I pick one thing? How do I merge all these things into like one cohesive vision or find that intersection that makes me the best in the world at something? And then I realized I was kind of operating under this single story that you had to pick something. You had to niche down. You had to be one. If you wanted to be a successful creator or successful in your career, you had to focus. You had to specialize. I realized that's not true. You don't have to do anything. And maybe you're rolling your eyes right now because this is obvious too. But I'm taking this seriously. I really enjoy writing. I enjoy speaking. I want to do this more. And so in trying to figure out that one thing, I was struggling. I was hitting resistance. It was hurting. It was painful. And there were flashes of insight, moments where I cried a little bit, where I was uncovering a new layer of myself. I realized I can be all these things. I can explore all these interests. There's no rule. You can be a multi-passionate, multi-hyphenate individual. Finally, like having this click, I had the terms polymath in my head, Renaissance person. I've heard of those. I didn't think I was one of them. I thought that was sort of like a lofty term that you label onto somebody extraordinary. And then I did what I've been doing lately, which is I turned to AI to talk to it. I use it as a journal, ChatGPT or Claude. I have taken a lot of the burden off my wife from having to listen to me by talking with one of these AI chatbots. And it's made my life so much better and richer because I can have these contextual conversations. They act as a mirror to reflect back to me, to ask me questions, to help spot the connective tissue between my ideas as I'm thinking out loud. And so when I shared this, like, hey, ChatGPT, I like doing this. I like being a staff engineer. I like data engineering. I like this AI stuff and LLMs. I like to learn. I like to talk about money. I like to think of financial independence or time freedom. I like to spend time with my kids and be a better dad and husband. And I value relationships and my own health. What's the common thread here? And one thing, it said to me over these past 7 months was it's learning. You like to learn stuff. I'm like, okay, great. How's that useful to me? But now, like having sit with this problem and wrestled it for a while, I had a better prompt for ChatGPT and I asked, like, what is this called? What does it mean when you do all these things? And obviously, like the terms polymath and Renaissance person come to mind. But I didn't know there was a lot of other people out there who felt the same way. And I came across another talk by Emily Wapnick. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, where she talks about this. And she coined the term the multipotentialite. And it's a person who has these diverse interests and goes very deep and loves to learn and likes to try new things and wants to experience it all. And then talks about the benefits of having that broad range of interests and things you're an expert in and how you can find really cool, unique intersections and how you should embrace being a multipotentialite. And hearing that, like, again, I teared up. I was like, this is what I've been looking for. This is a map, or now I have a term or a way to think about my life and what I'm interested in. And so that's what this channel is now. It's finally just me not trying to niche down, just learning whatever I'm interested in, sharing and talking about it along the way. And if you sound like somebody who's been struggling to find your own purpose or find a single niche, maybe you're a multi-passionate individual as well. Maybe you're a Renaissance person or a multi-potentialite. So follow along and talk to you soon.